Welcome back to Veteran Cancer Network. I got Casey here, the co-founder of Veteran Cancer Network and 4-year Marine Corps veteran deployed to Iraq. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on our podcast. I'm here today to talk about my cancer journey because we can't ask people to share their story without me sharing my story first.
So tell me first a little bit before kind of like your exposures, your time in the service, a little bit, just to kind of give a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah, well, I was in the Marine Corps from 2006 to 2010. I deployed to Iraq in 2009, where we were around burn pits quite a bit of time, and I worked on satellite equipment, which we had broken bands all the time, which leaked radiation and everything. So I think just being in that environment with all the toxic stuff around, people burning stuff, I think that's what led me to having my testicular cancer.
So 2010 is whenever you got out of the military. What year were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in 2021, late November of 2021.
Okay, with what kind of cancer?
Testicular cancer type, which is late stage cancer for testicular cancer.
And did you go through the VA or was it a civilian hospital that treated you?
A civilian hospital treated me, but I was going to the VA ER for around 4 months and constantly telling me that it was something different, not cancer. And I ended up being misdiagnosed for around 4 months before I went to a civilian ER, and they ran scans on me and showing that I had a grapefruit sized tumor on my left kidney. They thought it was kidney cancer, and it turned out to be late stage testicular cancer.
So what prompted you to start seeking help, through the VA? What were some of the symptoms that you were experiencing?
So I was experiencing a severe back pain on my left side near the kidney, which explains the tumor. Later on, I couldn't lay down flat. I was in so much pain that most veterans, if we're in pain, we kind of ignore it for a while until we can't. And when I say I couldn't anymore, that's when I went and got treatment. I just kept on advocating for myself for like 4 months.
So when you were going to the doctor, you said that you were going through the emergency department. When you were talking to them, what were you sitting there, telling them, besides the back pain, because you went back for months, and you weren't really, seeming to get any better. They weren't helping kind of progress you with your imaging or anything like that. So can you tell me a little bit more about that experience and maybe what you could have done differently now that you've known that you have testicular cancer?
Looking back, I could have did a few things wording-wise if I knew what I was looking for, but I honestly did not know what I was looking for. All I knew is I had a back problem, like severe pain, and each time I went in, they would get me to perform different kind of tests. Like one of them was to bend over, and they would check my back. They said nothing's wrong. They gave me some numbing rub stuff like a Tiger Balm or, medical grade stuff. And then the next time I went in, they said I was backed up. So, they took a x-ray, which they saw a mass. They thought I was backed up, right? And then they gave me medicine. A funny story that I'll tell later. We went to a gala as I had this magnesium stuff, and it did not turn out very well, but that's another video. And the last time I went, it really just made me mad at this. And I went, they got me to lay on my back on the emergency room table and lift my legs at a 90 degrees straight up. They said if I could do that, the VA's policy is it's not like they can't take it into an account because I can perform something, and they couldn't justify a CT scan, which would have showed a mass on my kidney or next to my kidney at the time. And so looking back, what I could have done is I could have advocated for myself just a little bit more, use better keywords that would have got them to look even deeper. And I think that's an important thing for veterans to do, is to advocate for themselves moving forward.
Okay. Now, if I remember, correctly, you'd also got into a minor bicycle accident as well that the doctors actually ended up doing an ultrasound on you, correct?
Yeah, that was actually a happy accident, because without that, I was riding a bicycle, just family riding around the block kind of thing. I slipped the peg, tapped my left testicle. I thought I ruptured it or some pain. So it's a happy accident because I was showing no signs of testicular cancer in that region until that happened. They did an ultrasound. They found some masses in it, and that's what led us to, getting treatment afterwards.
Yeah, I believe they said that it was hematomas is that they diagnosed you with, right? Correct? Just ice and rest?
That's right. They diagnosed me with that, and then they said monitor it. And so we monitored it for months on end, and it never got better. It actually got worse. It started to expand a little bit, which was really weird because it should have been healing. And that's what started getting me scared and concerned about it. And that's when I started pushing. And after the last ER visit with the North Chicago VA, on the way home at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I stopped by a local ER, just a civilian ER outside the VA system. And they were the ones that diagnosed me, gave me a CT scan almost immediately, and that led us to the getting proper treatment.
So what was your thought process whenever the doctor went in there and said you have cancer?
Well, honestly, I guess I'm not equipped at 2 to 3 o'clock after the scan was there to really process it. They came in and said I had a tumor. I was like, okay, I'm delirious, I'm tired. It was a long day and I haven't been getting sleep because of the back pain. So they came in, they said that, and I remember it pretty well afterwards because I got a good tongue lashing from it. But I text Ashton here. I was like, hey, I have a tumor in my back or on my kidney. And so that was literally just a message, just that right there, nonchalant. And
actually, clarifying on that one, I texted him at like 6 o'clock in the morning and he had said, I have cancer. And I thought he was just joking with me. But so fast forward, you're, going through this, basically starting the treatment process. So go ahead and tell me about that.
Yeah. So after I went to that local clinic, Ashton was like, no, we're not doing this. So she grabbed me, checked me, like signed me out as like a caregiver and everything, and rushed me over to Rush, where before we even got there, we already knew who my oncologist was, who my urologist was. At the time, it was still kidney cancer, so they wanted to take it, like it was super serious. Everything was going super fast, like 0 to 60. But once we actually started treatment, I got everything set up, removed the affected area, got the biopsy, pathology came back, and within like 2 to 3 weeks, I already had my treatment plan. Like I was going in for chemo and everything, and I ended up having a diagnosis of testicular cancer, and I had to do 3 rounds of BEP, which roughly lasted about 3 months.
Yes, correct. It was a scary time, but what were some of the, the key moments for you during that experience? The good, bad, the ugly, kind of tell me about what you learned during chemo and what you should not do during chemo.
Okay. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. The day-to-day life of infusion basically is you get there, it's freezing, and you get an IV. The IV has chemo, all that good stuff. Your body starts to drain, your hair starts to fall off. It's your white blood cells go to 0 basically within the first handful of days. It's a very scary time, but so that's the day-to-day. The bad of this is if your blood count goes to 0, do not scratch your face or you might go into sepsis, which is exactly what happened to me after about 2 weeks. I scratched my face, ended up scratching a pimple, and some bacteria got in, and I ended up going into the ICU right before Christmas of 2021 with a blood infection. So that's the bad. Don't do it. I would not suggest it. It's not a great stay and everything. The silver lining, we reconnected basically because she was working all the time. I was doing projects all the time. We reconnected during chemo and or cancer treatment and everything. And we had so much great support, or I had so much great support on my end, and she did as a caregiver, where the community, our local community, got involved. They helped us out. They were giving us free, like meals and everything. They were offering to drive us. I had a buddy was like from Florida. He was like, hey, just let me know when I need to go to Illinois to help out, even to just go up there and watch the dogs. Great community that we've built. And I really do hope that other people have that community and not, we're trying to make some resources so everyone doesn't feel like they're doing this alone.
So what would be your advice to somebody going through chemo right now?
If someone's going through chemo right now, I would wear thick clothes. Infusions suck. They keep it, there's a reason why they keep the rooms really cold, and it's to keep down bacteria and, all that nasty stuff that can affect someone with zero white blood cells. So fluffy socks, a hoodie, a blanket, beanies are a big thing. And don't be scared to let people help you. That is a big thing. When you're going through a major thing where you're zapped, you don't know what the outcome's going to be. You need to lean on someone. You need to lean on a small group, a community, brother, sister, wife, fiance, whatever it is. That's the biggest thing, is to lean on someone. Let someone help you.
All right. What's the funniest thing that happened to you in chemo?
Okay, the funniest thing that happened during chemo is the night before I got my testy removed. I was laying in the bed. I was being prepped for the morning kind of thing. It was either early morning or late night. Ashton's mom brought a duffel bag full of clothes for her because she was staying with me, right? And it was close to Christmas time. Everything's festive. Her mom packed, and she magically grabbed socks that had nutcrackers on it, and it says "crushed it." The day before or the morning of me getting my testy removed, she is wearing these socks, plopped it on the bed. She's next to me, and it says "crush it" in a nutcracker. I was like, oh my God. You are insensitive. She's like, what are you talking about? It's like, that's inappropriate. We're just laughing at this point. And then the nurses come in, and then I'm like flagging people out, into the room. Hey, come look at this. Tell me if this is inappropriate for someone about to lose a testy, and you're plopping down nutcrackers. So I think that would be the funniest portion of this that came from my chemo journey. That one was just so funny. We laugh about it all the time, and I still think it's a little inappropriate, but in a funny way.
For Christmas, by the way, our whole house is themed as Nutcracker, just to make sure he remembers this.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to forget the Nutcracker experience in 2021.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Okay. Well, later, everyone.